Alright, what is going on, everybody? It's Matt Abong with Nasfight Media coming at you guys with another video. You guys already know what time it is. It's time to bring on that boxing. Today we're going to be talking about Faze Temperrr and Ksi'S. It's a DAZN card. I know you guys hate me for, even covering these fights, but I think it's entertaining stuff because, at least for me, I know Ksi'S. I know he's a very popular name, not only within the sport of boxing recently, but he's been a very popular and household name for kids. At least around my age demographic, kids younger. He has a lot of fans. He's very popular. So I respect Ksi'S in that regard. He's putting on for, kids that don't really know much about boxing. He's bringing eyeballs to the sport, which I always think is a good thing. There's always that argument about, social media fighters taking spotlight away from fighters who have been doing this for their whole lives and haven't been getting nearly, the same reward in terms of finances in comparison to a Jake Paul, a Ksi'S. But I do think that these social media fighters, they bring different eyeballs. They broaden and widen the audience for boxing. They allow it to grow till it's full potential. So I think it's a good thing. If there's money to be made, it makes sense. So I can't blame Ksi'S. So he has a fight on DAZN. I think that says it, how popular he's gotten within the social media space, and now getting very popular into the worlds of boxing and the combat sports world in general. So it's going to be Ksi'S versus Faze Temperrr. Faze Temperrr, another YouTuber, one of the founders of Faze Clan, a gaming kind of squad. They have their kind of team. It's called Faze Clan, so it's a clan. So two very popular guys for teenagers, kids in their 20s, kids even younger than teenagers. They have a very big age demographic. Obviously, the boxing purists, they don't really know who these guys are. They just seem like YouTubers. They look like a circus act. But I know that the one thing you can't deny about these guys is that they have a work ethic. Anything that they do, whether it's on social media, whether it's gaming, making videos, they put their all into it, and they get to a point where they're at such a high level of popularity, clout, money, everything, that they want it all. So the highest, I feel like the pinnacle of that success point, it has to be fighting other guys, fighting other very popular guys with big names that you could build your legacy off of. So there we have it. We have Ksi'S and Faze Temperrr going at it. It was supposed to be Dillon Danis against Ksi'S. He pulled out. I don't think anybody was too surprised by that. He was throwing signs all over the place that he wasn't probably going to make it to fight night, which he didn't. So we have Faze Temperrr and Ksi'S. They're relatively friendly because they have a lot of mutual friends, Faze Clan and Ksi'S and the Sidemen. So these are just like social media groups, content creators, gamers that, they have a lot of mutual friends. So it's not as much animosity as it was between Ksi'S or a Logan Paul or a Jake Paul and Ksi'S. But we have to wait for that fight. Obviously, this is a good stepping stone towards that fight. Ksi'S hopefully puts on a great performance. But let's get into the meat of the fight. So Ksi'S, went on record saying that he didn't want to fight, anybody else except for Faze Temperrr because he was a southpaw. Dillon Danis was a southpaw, so Ksi'S was already in training camp preparing for a southpaw, and he didn't want to switch up the style and basically put all the hard work that he did preparing for a southpaw to waste. So that's the reason why he chose Faze Temperrr. Faze Temperrr gladly accepted the opportunity. So we'll see what happens. We have a southpaw versus, an orthodox fighter. So obviously the dominant hand is going to be there, but it's going to be more of a straight shot. So let's think about Ksi'S, because I think we're all favoring Ksi'S. I think it's actually going to be a close fight, to be honest with you guys, because I think Faze Temperrr is a relatively seasoned fighter. He's experienced it all. He's knocked guys out. He's knocked someone out. He's been knocked out. He's gone the distance. So I think he's gone the distance, but whatever the case may be, he's had multiple fights under his belt. So any experience is good experience for any of these guys who aren't really boxers, but they're more so like social media entertainers who are boxing. But Faze Temperrr, southpaw, he's gonna have to watch out for that right hand. He's gonna have to protect that chin of his, because that right hand of Ksi'S, it's going to come whipping in. He likes to loop it a lot. So if from the southpaw stance, Faze Temperrr, he showed it in his media workout. He's going to have to be controlling with his right hand and keeping that left hand up and being very, aware of when punches are coming, and his reflexes are going to have to be on point, because if he takes his eyes off Ksi'S for one moment, he might capitalize. Ksi'S, I would work on, maybe faking looping the shot, the right hand, and then, you know, throwing it more down the straight, down the center, because when you're against a southpaw, or when you're fighting the opposite style and stance, you know, that dominant hand, there's a much quicker path towards it. I think KSI is going to have to, you know, like any southpaw versus orthodox matchup, the guy with the lead foot on the outside of the other opponent's lead foot is going to have the more, you know, the better angles to land shots. That's just how it always is with the orthodox versus the southpaw. So I think that, you know, KSI is going to have to establish his foot, you know, his lead foot, which would be his left foot, out, you know, outside of the right foot of Faze Temperrr. And that's how, you know, either guy gets the advantage, to be honest with you. The issue is going to be KSI's power. I think that KSI's power is going to give Faze Temperrr a lot of trouble. Faze Temperrr, it's going to be about his ability to keep his composure. He's been stopped once, and the guy that he fought wasn't nearly as big of a puncher as KSI. KSI is not the most technically sound fighter. It seems like as soon as he goes into the ring and starts fighting, everything that he's worked on in training camp kind of goes out the window. So that's something for Faze Temperrr to kind of take advantage of. But, you know, he has to start off really sharp, because if he lets KSI get comfortable and kind of go off, you know, it's going to be trouble for him. And I think that Faze Temperrr has to, you know, be very cautious and very defensive, at least in the first 2 rounds. Allow KSI to gas out. He's known to kind of gas out, you know, as the rounds go on, and decrease in output like most boxers do, especially if you're not a true professional boxer. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think that it would be in Tommy's best interest to, you know, wait, allow KSI to feel like he's getting comfortable, stay defensive, stay on the back foot, but, you know, rational on the back foot, you know, not being forced to fight on your back foot, but, you know, staying defensive and protecting yourself. I'm telling you, keep that left hand up by your chin at all times, like you're holding on, talking to somebody really important on the phone. You know, use your jab, move around a lot, stay mobile. I always say that your legs are the most important thing. Being able to move, because when you're hurt, which you may get hurt, KSI throws crazy shots, so if you get hurt, it's going to be a problem. So I do think that KSI is the slight favorite, but I do think that, you know, Faze Temperrr definitely has a chance to outbox him. I give it, right now, I think it's 60-40 for KSI. If I had to make a bet, I'd say KSI pulls out, you know, a late stoppage win, but I think that Faze Temperrr could ultimately bring it to a decision and, you know, pull it off. That's my prediction. But let me know in the comments who you guys have. Faze Temperrr, KSI, it's going on DAZN this Saturday, I believe, or January 14th. I think it's mixed up with the UK time, but, you know, look it up. Make sure that you guys can tune in for that fight, because it's going to be an interesting one. I heard they have a lot of, you know, entertaining undercard fights too, so I'll definitely be tuning in, see what's up with those, you know, those undercard fighters, and then what's up with KSI and Faze Temperrr. So I'll be tuning in. We'll see, you know, what this event's all about. We'll see who comes out on top. But let me know in the comments if you guys have KSI or Faze Temperrr. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. That's going to do it for another NASFight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Manabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.